The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It's your boy Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChair Scott. Follow the Barbers Chat Network at Barbers Chat Net on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network, man. Right now, we are live streaming on YouTube. We live streaming on Twitter, YouTube everywhere, Facebook, and also Instagram, as I'm checking right now. Make sure we rocking on Instagram. We checking that out right now because I am bad at technology. So I'm looking at my Instagram. Looks like we are. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Shout out to everybody on Instagram, man. We've got a full show to y'all. I'm not gonna lie, this show might be a little long today. It's the last Friday show of the 2023 year. Next week we will be having the holiday special will be airing. So holiday special will be airing, but as far as us actually doing an actual show on Fridays, this will be the last time you see us on a Friday to the first full week in January. Monday will be the last show of the year, and then we'll be back on January 8th. In fact, we're gonna be doing something special for the national championship game, which is on the same day. So stay tuned for those details, man. I got Bang, I got Murray, I got Dante in the house with me. Courtney and Mikey will be back after the new year. So look out for that. We've got Clint Yates from ESPN will be joining us in about 10 minutes, man. So let's take a look at the rundown that we've got so far right now, man. This is the things we're going to be talking about. I'm going to do my sound off in just a second. We're going to have Clint Yates pull up. We're going to be talking about everything going on in baseball, college football things, get his take on being the Shohei Ohtani press conference yesterday. We're going to talk about it's not on the rundown because actually when I got to finish rundown, we just got the news that Brandon Staley got fired. So we're going to talk about that as well. We're going to be talking about what's next for Draymond Green. Cam Newton got a little heat as he's a new member of the media from a couple comments he had. We're going to give talks about that. We're going to talk about our must-watch Week 15 games. We coming through the home stretch, folks. And of course, it is Cousin Dan Fridays. Dan will be joining us for the last time this year. Give us his take on all the crazy things going on in his head. And then I'll be doing my goofy mug of the week, man. So we're going to start off. Let's start off with my sound off, man. We had a little but a tweet last night about situations in the NFL when it comes to quarterback. With everything going on with the Justin Fields, Caleb Williams debate, which we will get into, and I'm not gonna hold you overtime, which is strictly on the Patreon. I think a lot of people are forgetting that situations matter, man. Situations matter. Nobody is taking anything from Patrick Mahomes. And I think if you read my tweet yesterday, you have a brain in your head, you would know what I meant by saying that. I'm not saying that he is who he is because of the Kansas City system, but it helped him out tremendously. He came to a team that already was 12-4. They won the division. It's been a multiple playoff appearances. He came with an offensive guru and Andy Reid that helped him. He was able to he didn't have to play the first season because you had a capable starter in Alex Smith and was able to learn from him. I think situations matter. Yes, you have your matter where you have a Joe Burrow who came out swinging despite the fact that the coach he's playing for. Not to say this coach is bad, but it's not like he's an Andy Reid or anything. But there's situation you've seen, maybe a situation now with, Zach Wilson. If he was in a better situation, maybe he would be better. I mean, that's the perfect situation with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is the perfect example. I don't think Brock Purdy is a game manager or anything, but if you drop Brock Purdy on the Bears, he's definitely not doing the things he's doing right now. So long story short, I think that Patrick Mahomes has kind of messed up the way that we have, evaluated quarterbacks, and, we're expecting too much from them too early. And I also feel like even the ones who come out swinging like a CJ Stroud, seen him against a great defense. He got, 3D through a table and he's going to miss 2 games and he struggled a little bit because his top wide receiver wasn't together. And you can have something where it looks like, you know, maybe you had a great year like a Cam Newton. The next year you struggled a little bit because there's more film on you. So all I'm saying is that situations matter. It's not taking away from the talent of the quarterback. Yes, Patrick Mahomes took the Chiefs and took them to an entirely new level and made them championship team. I don't know if he would have been saying if he would have started off on the Chicago Bears. So that is what I've got here, man. Shout out to everybody on Twitter. Shout out to everybody on the gram watching us right now. Everybody in the chat room. Let's bring in the guys real quick. What's going on, y'all?
What up, though?
Decent, bro.
In the YouTube says Mikey has more PTO than Kawhi. I'm definitely gonna tell him that. Shout out to y'all. What y'all doing before we bring our guest in here?
Chilling, man. You know, anytime you see me, man, it's a Friday evening. The do-rag is on. You know what I'm saying? I'm very, very cozy, man. I'm just chilling. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. I'm about to say it's definitely feeling good. You know, the housekeepers just left. You know, shout out to them.
The
housekeepers. Talk heavy.
I'm just saying, bro. Anybody, man, if you could throw it in the budget, bro, once a month, get you a deep clean for real. Like it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Take a little stress off you, and you just keep it tidy, and then come on back, bro. Trust me.
Okay.
I ain't mad at that.
That's what the wife is for.
That's what the wife is for.
That's what I'm for too. I don't want nobody to. I don't want this to be the He-Man woman.
No, I was about to say, they was finna, yeah.
I clean too, ladies.
Yeah. No, I definitely clean up, but I'm 10 out of 10. I recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, sometimes it's cool to pay for the service because like I know how to change the tire. But if I just got fresh and I got AAA on, you know what I'm saying? I got roadside assistance. I mean, come look out for your boy. That's all. Like I know how to do it though. You know what I'm saying? And I do advocate for that. I do advocate for learning how to change the tire. Like just learn so you can know how to do it, please. If you choose to go the route and you say, hey man, look, I'm just gonna call them people today. Let that be an option and not your only resort. Like just know how to do it at least. That's just my advice to some of the young gentlemen, even the young ladies. You know what I'm saying? The ladies, if y'all listening, learn too, because you might be by yourself one night. You gotta learn how to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's just my advice to just people, period. Learn more things. Learn how to do more things. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I just checked the Instagram. We all roll in there. Let's bring in our guest. Our guest for today, our first guest today, man. We've got the one and only Clinton Yates. ESPN.
What's up, gang?
What up?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
So first of all, fam, are you married? Yes. You talking about that's for the wife? Who are you? Do you have a wife?
She was over there.
Oh, okay.
She heard me. We have that relationship. We talk shit.
That's a great way to lose a wife. You know what I'm saying?
We have to talk shit.
My understanding, you know.
She be popping up on here too.
Yo, there was this skit. I don't know if y'all saw it. There was a skit where a dude, I think it was on Instagram, and the dude was like, yo, you wouldn't believe it. I leave stuff on the table all night, like every night, and next morning it's magically gone. Like, try it. And the wife is looking at him like, dog, like you don't know that that's me doing it.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, no, me and the wife have that
forever though. By the way, there's no chance of doing that anytime soon.
That's fucked up. But no, me and my wife have that talking shit relationship. So I'm probably gonna get smacked up in the head, but then she's probably gonna say something reckless too. You know what I'm saying? So
a little spice is necessary, man.
A little spice is necessary. It's Friday. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We know what happens later.
No, I don't know. I thought this was a family show. Must be mistaken.
That's how you make the family.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how you get the family.
This is anything but a family show, unfortunately. This is the stuff
I know that. I'm being funny. How we doing?
Oh man, how you feeling though, bro? For those of you who are if you've been living on the rock, you don't know who this guy is. It's Clinton Yates, man. ESPN is a panelist on Around the Horn, storyteller, author, everything, writes great columns, everything, man. You're doing a lot of great baseball coverage, man. This is my guy. Glad to have you on the show officially. For those of you who don't remember, he was on my interview series last summer. I'm not gonna hold you to off season. It was a great interview, man. So glad to have you on with the whole crew today. How are you feeling?
I'm good, man. My dad's actually in town. It's the first time he's come to visit me since I've moved here to California. Moved here just before the pandemic started, so it's been about 3 years now. And he used to live in Southern California though, so it's a little bit of a homecoming for him. And I'm excited about it. We've just been chilling. I took him to work yesterday. He made it on TV and saw the radio studio and everything down here. So all his church friends were hitting him up like, "Yo, what are you doing out there?
On
He's like, I'm hanging out with my son. What do you think I'm doing? You know what I mean? So it was pretty cool. So it was a good time yesterday, and he got to spend a little time with our friend Woody Page, and they're pretty much contemporaries. So that was cool to hear a couple old guys talking about life.
Shout out to one of the icons, Woody Page, man. I used to watch
absolutely
Around the Horn. I always say salute to like Around the Horn, PTI, man. Those are stuff that made me want to, do this thing when I was a kid. I would come home, it'd be PTI, Around the Horn, Sports Center, Rap City, 106 and Park. That was my daily viewing before Mama told me, all right, turn TV off, do your homework. That's the time I had.
In college, so I'm a little older than you guys. So I was in college when the show came out. And we used to call it church, Around the Horn and PTI. So you text your roommates, you're gonna be home for church. Like, what's going on? Like, we're watching church. So that was what we called it.
I miss falling asleep to like the ESPN news, like just and then waking up and just seeing to say like that was just the most beautiful background note like ever. It was just perfect. Just to
shit. That's how I woke up to that ass whooping last night. I was asleep. And I woke up like, yo, what happened?
I thought it was Photoshop. I thought Twitter was doing the thing that Twitter do, and they put the score up because they was just like, oh, the Chargers losing, so let's just exaggerate.
Right, somebody's making something up.
Yeah, I'm like, somebody's making something up. So I went I was like, you know what? Let me just go double check before I say anything. And I went and checked and said, no, this is really happening.
I mean, it was 42 zap at half, right?
Like, it
wasn't,
the only reason it still stayed on my TV is because I was preparing for the show. I was going to do this background noise.
In case something crazy happened.
It turned into homework at that point.
Yeah, they had O'Connell looking like Brady, man. But well, man, you're DC native, man. I'm gonna go give it to my man Bang. Spent a lot of time in DC. For first topic we're gonna go over.
Yeah, shouts out to Radio 1 DC, 93.9 WKYS, Magic 102.3, 92.7, the real sign of DMV, and all of those stations. I also spent a little time when we had brought TEM, and working with a lot of those guys over there, and having conversations about sports and stuff, and like hearing all of the stuff that's going on out there in DC, in the district about the Wizards and the Caps moving to Potomac Yards over there in Northern Virginia. Like, is this really going to happen, or is folks just talking to try to leverage Mayor Bowser to try to give up the money that they need to do what they need to do in the district?
There's a couple of things at play here. The folks that are talking are Theodore Leontis himself. So you can't just say folks in that regard, because the guy owns both teams, including the Mystics, by the way, which is another discussion in this that we'll get to later. But I think it's about as real as Ted wants it to be, which is, I don't frankly think is that real, but I do think there's a bluff call element to this. And if I was the city, I would call their bluff. I'd lock the doors. Tony Kornheiser talked about that a little bit on PTI, and you guys might have heard me ranting about it yesterday about how this is kind of a despicable move. But there's this thing that happens that I'm never going to understand, which is that when an owner acts like they need something, all of a sudden people have this bizarre desire to acquiesce to the most vicious capitalists we know and be like, well, he should be allowed to do whatever he wants. He's the one who brought the team or whatever. And you're like, hold on a second. Are you rooting for a guy to make money, or are you rooting for a fan experience that you're going to enjoy? Because let me tell you something, often they are mutually exclusive, and everybody's kind of convinced themselves that for whatever reason, a franchise raking in more cash gets you closer to whatever proverbial promised land that you're looking for. And this is one of those cases where there's just no world where I could see anybody defending them leaving downtown DC. There just isn't one. I mean, I get it if you're brainwashed by society to the point that you think that anybody who's got enough money should basically be allowed to run rampant over any sort of societal, I don't want to say moral imperatives, but public trusts, then yeah. But for the most part, never trust a billionaire, man. You're not going to get rich. You'll never be in that position. You don't have to worry about defending that class. Trust me, Joe Blow from Bowie, who doesn't know, a left tackle from a right guard. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I think a lot of people, out of what they feel is some sort of loyalty to their own team, don't understand how easy it is to be sort of played as a pawn being a fan of American sports. And I mean that for any city, but in DC, it's got a particular flavor because of where basketball as a sport in the town, in the way that franchise has been so terrible for literally my entire life. So it's a weird situation, but it's not an easy one at all.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask next. Like, do the people really care? I remember being, talking to the guys, and I mean, of course, it's always Redskins / Commanders first, then it's Caps. And for me, coming from Chicago and moving out to DC, I mean, I know Bears is king out here, and then you got the Cubs and all of that stuff, but we still love our Bulls. And if somebody tried to move them from the west side of Chicago, I think everybody will riot, even though it's like dangerous as hell where the Bulls play. So, like, do the people really care about the Wizards staying in that area?
What the Wizards represent is basketball in the area. And look, I mean, they've never won 50 games in my life. So what people care about by definition does not look the same way that it does for other NBA franchises. DC is a basketball town, Wizards aside. We turn out more pros, college players, men and women.
Shouts out to PG County.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of the area, the metro area, than a lot of other big cities, and people don't realize that. So what the Wizards represent, don't forget the Hoyas play there too. What the Wizards represent is the sort of mecca of basketball as a sport in general. Them being competitive is not really something people have worried about because, that guy has owned the team for so long and everybody knows he's not serious. But that's a different matter than saying that, well, people don't care enough to show up, therefore removing them from where they are makes sense. There's a couple things there. Number one, downtown DC, there was a pandemic. Last time I checked, that hit everybody. So for the downturn in business and so forth that's hit downtown and be blamed singularly on just the ubiquitous concept of crime in DC, which don't get me started about how ignorant that sounds.
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just larger issues. And the whole point to me of what an owner can be, not necessarily what they have to do, is that, people trust you for your product. That's something that's entertaining. Therefore, the consistency of said product, at least in terms of play, is important. I mean, you look at how hard Commanders fans are fighting to get the team back into the city. It's because of A, the nostalgia factor, and B, I think people just connect to whatever that site is more. Potomac Yards is like not a place, bro. Like, my buddy used to live out there. We never visited him because it was just weird to get to, and not just because of the metro. It's like you got to go to the airport and then you got to like be next to that. It's just it's actually kind of stunning to me that Ted would even think that anybody would like this at all. The only people defending it are people who are, again, bootlickers for those that have a lot of money, because even if this were for the right reasons, it would be a stupid move, in my personal opinion. And that's why it's so baffling. It feels like there's a certain level of, I don't want to say vengeance, but you did all that talk about being in a community, all that talk comparing yourself to Martin Luther King, blah, blah, blah. You can go look that up. You know what I mean?
That's a wild comparison.
You know what I mean? You're just like, how, if that's how you actually feel, all this breaking out boundary stone courts for the district, hashtags, and then you just threaten to go to Virginia? Like, nah, bro, that's not how anything rocks. And it's almost, I almost am kind of embarrassed for him, because it's such a naked cash grab that indicates such a level of greed that people, your fan base can't evaporate. It happens. Ask Daniel M. Snyder. People loved that team. People used to go to the place, moved out of town, place started to suck, team started to suck. All of a sudden, they can't fill it to save their lives. Just a bizarre thing to watch unfold in real time if you actually give a shit about basketball in DC.
And I think, kind of a slight comparison, because we would even been kind of like rumors of Jay Reinsdorf moving the White Sox away. And we know just, I feel like the number of White Sox fans really gets like underrated. And there's some people like they take love on me personally. I'm boycotting the White Sox right now. I just refuse to, watch the mediocre, they've won a World Series in my time, but like I can name the season where they didn't make the playoffs until it's like, I'll go somewhere. I'll watch the Dodgers. I've been there long enough. So I definitely understand how, the unrest from, fan bases can be. But let's pivot a little bit, man. Let's go to baseball, which is something that, you're real big on, man. You just, you did a lot of coverage. You did the playoffs. You got the World Series from the IG. You were at the Ohtani, the press conference yesterday.
Yeah, I was there yesterday.
Tell me how that experience was, and just really how this whole Ohtani saga has been. We touched on it last Friday. My guys Mikey and Courtney. And by the way, Courtney said you what up.
What up?
she said, I mean, we were talking about like kind of like the racist coverage that we felt happened with Ohtani, but just talk about the Ohtani pursuit and just a big week the Dodgers had. They just traded for Tyler Glass now today too.
They did. They finalized that extension with him too. So I was in Nashville all week whatever week that, I guess it was last week. Yeah, we're at the end of this week, so it would have been effectively 2 weeks ago now. For the winter meetings, and nothing happened there. Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, made a lot of noise because he was like, "Yeah, we talked to him. What about it?" After all this kind of shakeup had been made about if anybody leaks anything, well, then this not happening. And so I kind of appreciated Dave for at least having the stones to stand up for his own team, never mind his franchise, and just say, "Yeah, we talked to the guy and we want him. We would be stupid if we didn't." So that was cool, but I do think there's a part of this whole thing that it's really tough because, yeah, you can say that because he's Japanese, because he's private, that there are certain societal things that are just not going to fly the same way. But I don't think that makes all criticism of Shohei Ohtani being quite high maintenance as racist. I really don't. I mean, like, let's think about what happened when he was with the Angels. They let him do whatever he want. Pitch whenever he want, talk to whenever he want, hit whenever he want, worked out whenever he wanted, and recovered from injuries however he wanted. They enabled a certain level of secrecy beyond privacy that I think by default, when you go from a team like the Halos to the Dodgers, changes. And I think that's part of the reason why, you're making so much money. And so, again, there's two sides to every discussion. And it's always odd to me when people are sort of act as if, well, they can do whatever they want. Well, yeah, but at the same time, nobody has to like that. And doesn't necessarily mean that having a problem with it means you have a problem with who they are. It just means you don't like it. And I do think that there is some, maybe not among Dodger fans, because Dodger fans are really more in the business of just celebrating themselves. A lot of LA sports fans are like that, like regardless of what's actually happening with the team, they don't necessarily know or care a ton about sports. They're just kind of like being in the place to root for a team that's expected to do well as much as one that actually does. And so amongst Dodger fans, you might not see a ton of that. But I do think that there is a bit of a feeling around baseball that's kind of like, all right, already, you're going to be 30 by the time this season ends. We'd like to know a little bit more about you. And there's nothing wrong with that, because by the same token with which we say that baseball doesn't market its stars well enough, nobody thinks that baseball players are cool, the popularity level, blah, blah, blah. Well, when the most popular player on earth refuses to talk to people, it kind of creates a catch-22. So I think there is some level of not responsibility, but it would just be cool to know more about this guy. I think for everybody's sake, because I mean, ultimately, you're playing a game. It's not really that serious. So, open up and maybe more people will like you. Maybe it won't matter, but I do think that there is something to be said for his personality is going to make a lot of difference as to his popularity over the next 10 years. Maybe not worldwide, but certainly stateside.
Well, that's a good point. I didn't think about it either. Like as far as like wanting more for him, because I feel like a lot of some media, not all, some give it we pay you, we pay your bills. You're supposed to say that, or some would say, oh well, you're in our country, you have to say that. So I think it was a mix of both. But I definitely understand that perspective. Let's talk about.
Don't get me wrong, Scott. Hold quickly. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people that came incorrect on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to imply that everybody operates in the best faith, whether they even know that or not. I just personally think that there is something beyond just the cultural, I don't want to say hurdle, but the cultural difference that is kind of about like, this could just be more fun. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily have to be about obligation. You seem to be a pretty fun guy. Why don't we engage in some more things that people like instead of acting like everything is so dead serious all the time?
I definitely understand, man. That's a good perspective on it. Let's talk about on the field. What do you think that, I mean, obviously this is a team that is stacked, with Mookie Betts, they got Freddie Freeman just for the hell of it. Then you add Ohtani to this, and this is a team that they have no problem spending money. And no disrespect to the Angels, but you've been in LA for a couple years. I've been in LA for a couple years. The Angels are truly Orange County's team. Nobody in actual Los Angeles County cares about the Angels, so it's different when he's on this team. What do you think from a baseball perspective Ohtani and even Glass now brings them, because now they've got the pitching element to it, which was something that you could say one of the main reasons they went home early last year?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about pitching, we're not talking about Ohtani because he ain't pitching. So exactly, that's a big question mark that I think a lot of people kind of conveniently chose to, I don't want to say ignore, but overlook. I mean, double Tommy John surgery, or as he put it, a surgery that he's never had before. He wouldn't say Tommy John, which was weird. But do we know that he's ever going to pitch again? No,
we don't know.
In fact,
for sure.
don't. Yeah. And so I don't even really necessarily look at Ohtani as an arm being added to the roster until I see it. I mean, and that's not a knock on him. There's just no reason to do so. As for him as a bat, $70 million a year for a DH is a lot of money, Scott. And I realize that money is for more than baseball, and I realize he's taking a deferred contract. But I, in fact, think that Glasnow's a great pickup because they need the innings anyway. They had so many injuries on that staff last year, between Kershaw always being sort of iffy, Walker Buehler going down, Dustin May having yet another Tommy John. They'll have multiple double Tommy John guys on the staff, which I don't like either. The pitching is the most important thing for this team. Ohtani's a nice add. I would bat him lead off personally because he's a left-handed bat, so you can go left, right, left at the top. But right. I mean, if you think that Shohei Ohtani puts the Dodgers that much closer to winning the World Series, I'm not so sure about that. That's not to say he's not good. I just think that what they needed in the playoffs last year was a different type of a player. This helps, you know what I mean? It helps sell seats. It helps draw fan base, but his OPS is the best on the team. He's one of the best. He's arguably the best hitter in the league. But I just don't know that that's going to be the piece. I think the pitching is more important. I think they need sort of a grittier guy lower in the lineup, although Ohtani is going to be a great addition just from a general baseball standpoint to that team.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Now, obviously, Shohei, he was the big fish of free agency. We saw Soto go over to the Yankees. What are some other moves we should be looking out for? Obviously, we still waiting to see what happens with Yamamoto, Cody Bellinger. Those are two of the really bigger names left. What are some moves we can look out for?
Dylan Cease is another guy as an arm who you guys should know, obviously, from his time in Chicago. I mean, Cody Bellinger is an interesting case because former Dodger, because he had a breakout year with the Cubs. And I couldn't see us, rather. They tend to want to be pretty good. Like, I would be very surprised if he chose to leave Chicago after the sort of comeback year that he had. I don't do a ton of like breaking hot stove stuff. And my brain is kind of fried. So the people you named are actually arguably the biggest. Soto is an interesting one as well because of New York and what the outfield situation is. Like, where is he going to play? Where is everybody else going to play? And how are they going to work that out? So I think we're getting into that portion of the hot stove where now that Shohei is signed, we're going to see a lot more dominoes fall. It's just a matter of where. I can't remember the guy's name now, but the Giants signed him, the outfielder. He looks to be a good pickup. But we're at that point now where it's like we got to see the baseball. You know what I mean? And that doesn't come for another 100 days. I can't count like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready for spring training to start just to see what some guys can do. Hot stove interests a lot of people, sort of like how NBA transaction Twitter interests a lot of people. It doesn't interest me that much because I like to see what people can actually do, not just worry about what could be here and there. And that's not a knock on the question or anything like that. I'm just saying that like I'm about time to see somebody, throw and catch as opposed to just worry about what contracts they sign.
I definitely get that, man.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked a little bit about baseball and everything, but I do kind of want to switch a little bit to football.
Yeah,
and you cover some Colorado games this year. And I think it's easy in a vacuum to just look at the record and say, all right, 4-8, it is what it is. But overall, to you, how do you gauge this season? Like, was this a success? How do you look at it? What's your perspective on Colorado this season?
I wrote a column about this, and I said it was a success, if for no other reason than to the last minute of the last game at home in Boulder, people were there. People showed up. And people stayed in the park even as they were losing, and people cheered on the team. When it comes to success in college football, there's so many different ways that different programs define themselves, whether it's playoff appearances, conference titles, trophies won, and I don't just mean Heisman's, or bowl appearances. Those four things alone have very different sort of paths to get there. And I think that Prime and them, sidebar, I'm actually wearing my Buffs hat.
There we go.
I was like, wait a second. I might have this hat on right now. So Prime and them, hold on. I think Prime and them left it sort of intentionally vague once they won those first 3 games of the year, because that alone on momentum was enough to justify sort of proof of concept. You know what I mean? And after that, it was kind of like real football. And the only real kind of mistake I think Prime made this year in terms of what I would call a macro mistake was when he called out the offensive line, because a lot of that offensive line were like the only guys that stayed on that team in terms of continuity from the last program. And I know there was all the comments about Louis luggage and this, that, and the third, but like those dudes still had games to play. And one of the people I met, one of the offensive linemen who did say, I met his grandfather. And when I was in Boulder as just, journalizing as part of the story. And he was like, dude, that hurt my grandkids so bad. He said, like, that dude stayed around and, he wanted to be there. And it's one thing to suck. It's one thing to know that you're not good. It's another thing to have your coach come out week 9 or whatever it was out of a 12, 13-week season and be like, yeah, you're all gone, and still have to play the season. So I know he's got recruiting classes. I know he's getting guys back, but that was the only time where I felt like that felt a little unnecessary. Other than that, yeah, these guys are making money. People are watching the games. People in Boulder who don't necessarily even have anything to do with Colorado, like they didn't go there, they just live there. They go to games. Like, I don't really know how much better of a turnaround. I could probably have some better stats. Like, for teams that fired their coach after less than 5-win seasons last year, or whatever the year before was, I think Prime still had the most wins of the new coaches who took on a situation like that. So relative to what the scenario was, yeah, pretty successful. But the dagger was the 7 in a row. I think that's what really hurt. It was like every time you looked up, Colorado was losing. Right. That was tough to see. The record overall was one thing, but after that hot start, I was talking to Cordell Stewart after the SC game, and he was like, yeah, we're making a bowl. Like, it was a given. Didn't happen. And so that Stanford game really kind of changed their season. I think really kind of reestablished what it takes for Deion's teams to win in big-time D1 football. We'll see what happens when they go to the Big 12. Harder conference.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, harder conference. The 12 team playoff hits next year too, so maybe that'll help them out a little bit, man.
Sure,
anything else you want to say before we get you up out of here, man? I know you got.
Nah, man, I be seeing y'all social clips. Y'all be out here cussing and dropping N-bombs. I wish I had the freedom to do that on a microphone. But, you know what I'm saying? That's not how we're living these days. But yeah, man, keep it up. Scott, we got to hang out at some point, man. I ain't seen you enough out here.
I will be back, and once I get done covering the Bears, so I'll be back first week of January.
Yo, the Bears. So hold on. Okay, so let me tell you something. I heard what you were talking about at the beginning of the show. And the Bears are a prime example of what I say all the time on TV, which is that quarterback is the worst coach position in the league by a mile. By a mile. And it's so obvious. And the Bears haven't had a plan. And I don't just mean not finding the right guy, but like this particular subset of humans that has been at the forefront of the offensive situation for the Bears for the last 3-4 seasons, even with the changes, no plan. Like, I don't care if your plan fails, but it's seemingly everybody's pitted against each other to say, oh, well, it didn't work out. Yo, not a good situation. I feel bad for Justin Fields.
And I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing about no Bears because Scott has been very. I'm shocked I'm here. I'm shocked I'm on edge. I thought I was gonna get fired today.
But I'm saying, I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just saying,
you're telling the truth.
Of a lot of teams that just have no idea what they're doing.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazier than that, though. His quarterback went to that school that shall not be named because we 3-0 against them in the last 3 years. You know, whatever. Okay. But I feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for guys that went to that school that get to the league and don't. But I feel terrible for him because I like him. I want him to be good. Like, I really do. And I'm just like, damn, man. Like,
speaking of that school, I heard a rumor that Caleb Williams might transfer to Ohio State instead of going pro. So, just saying.
I'll say this. Hey, and that's the one thing I'll say too. Caleb Williams, like, they'll ruin him too if they bring him there. And we almost had to unveil.
That's not reporting, by the way. That's just me.
Not reporting.
That's just me talking. Okay, I am not.
That's why I'm laughing my ass off.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Ohio State starting running back Chip Trainum, who came from ASU, transferred to Kent State this week.
Kent State.
Ooh.
Think about that in terms of what kind of offense they might be running. He's from Akron, but yeah.
I almost unveiled Bang and our other co-host Mikey. He's not here. I don't know. He might be kidnapped. So I don't know what Mikey is. Allegedly, he's coming back first week of January.
Free Mikey, man.
All right, boys. I got to get back to the beach. It is great to see you. Keep up the good work, fellas.
All right, my brother.
Hey.
All right, y'all. Late.
Yeah.
Let's get into some football, man. We got Cousin Dan Fridays in about 45 minutes, about 35 minutes. About 35 minutes. My math serves me well. So let's talk about the thing that happened from the game we witnessed last night, that abomination that was on Thursday Night Football. And it actually doesn't matter what game it is on Thursday Night Football, it's going to be bad. But even though last night was bad, it was like a car crash I couldn't turn away from, because I just couldn't believe that a team that couldn't even muster up a field goal last week, not even a week ago, just Sunday, it was only like 4 or 5 days ago, put up 60-something points. And we all made our jokes on Twitter. It was like, oh, there's no way that Brandon Staley's key card is going to work in the morning. And it 100% did not. They got rid of Brandon Staley. They got rid of their GM, see about Tom Telescope, and they also got rid of their running backs coach as a late dump too. Oh. So they got rid of everybody up in there. I don't know if this signifies Jim Harbaugh. It was something that Mikey suggested earlier, but also we know that the Chargers don't really have a cap space. So I don't know if Harbaugh wants to come to that, man. I'm gonna go to Mari first, man. What's your opinion on this whole thing? Because I kind of feel like there's some people like me who feel like Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback. He's just been surrounded by trash. And there's some who feels like it's a mix of him and the bad coaching. What do you make of this whole Brandon Staley firing for the Chargers?
So I still don't like the Chargers from the Phillip Rivers days. Let me just get that out the way right now. Like when they lose just a little part of me, I'm just like, they still got it. They still finding ways to lose. I love it. But I do like Justin Herbert though. So it's kind of a tough situation to be in. I will say, shout out to New York Giants legend Antonio Pierce. I'm gonna be happy for any of his success, no matter what. Like whatever hand he has in any team, whether they if they winning, I'm happy for him. But this is like a year too late, to be honest. If we being real, like this shit should have happened last year. We already knew like where are you going with Brandon Staley as your coach? He's sitting on the sideline looking dumb, like what are we doing? Like everybody talks shit about Darvin Ham, but his hands in his pockets. Like, look at this fucking guy. He's on the sideline letting shit happen like week to week, and it's just like, how is he gonna? How is it? You MacGyver? If anybody know MacGyver, he found a way to get out of every situation. Like he's gonna win. Brandon Staley is the opposite. He's the complete opposite. They'll look great coming into the game, and it's like, how do I fuck this up? I got it. By George, I got it, and that's just what he does. So. To me personally, I feel like you fixed this by sending Belichick over there. I like to see Belichick get out that hoodie. That hoodie probably stink by now, I'm sure. Get him over there, get him some cut off sleeves. If you do the short sleeve hoodie, they got the short sleeve hoodies out there. Get him right. Send Belichick over there with some good weather and a good quarterback, man. Let's see what he can do. But this shit was a year too late.
Dante, what's your take on this situation?
I mean, bro, we've been talking about this for a while. We've been saying, Staley's holding that team back more than anything, although they've been one of the most injury-prone teams we've seen over the past 3 or 4 years. It's always a random injury here or there to a key contributor. So, Keenan Allen was out yesterday. Not saying that would have stopped them from getting beat like a drum the way that they did yesterday. But Staley, it's been the decision-making, in the modern NFL. Analytics, has become more popular, although – like Charles Barkley said, analytics are just stats. It's just a different way to quantify stats. It's the same shit that we've been talking about, but just different ways. And so with Staley and his offense and everything he's been doing, you saw some of the success. And when it was good, it was exciting. But there were too many moments where they came up short, and it was because of decisions he made. It's kind of like the quarterbacks when we say they can go win you a game, and then there are certain moments when okay, the quarterback lost that game for me. He went through a back-breaking pick at the end. Like with Staley, some of those fourth and goals, fourth and whatevers that he would go for and not get would just completely ruin the momentum that the Chargers had. And we saw it time after time. And it was time for a change, and we knew it was going to happen. I think I agree with Mikey with them letting go of the GM as well. Don't be surprised if they are setting it up for Harbaugh, because, Harbaugh isn't going to go anywhere where he doesn't have, a quarterback and somewhat of a defense. And I think the Chargers have that. So, but Staley, it was just a matter of time, because that team, despite the injuries, they still had too much talent to be as bad as they've been. As mediocre as they've been, I say.
I wish this was an episode of like Summer Sessions or some dude, because Bang, I know Bang, your face. Did he just posted Kim Porter on his Instagram? I got a comment for that.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know. My head was looking down.
I was like, huh?
Insanity, bro.
My head was looking down, and I had sent it to the team because I can't get to it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
This is a
nasty
sick
work.
Negro.
And this
Yeah,
is a sick Negro.
this is nasty work, man. Sometimes
Yeah,
some shit
man.
you just got to stay away from, Sean.
It's certain
I
shit
had,
where it's like, dog, you already in the bullshit, man, and you gonna do this, bro.
I had to double take. I was like, I know this nigga ain't active on social right
I
now.
know that ain't who I think.
Oh,
it
he
is.
shut the comments off too.
Oh, of course he did.
Oh,
Of
comments
course.
shut
of
off.
course.
His brand
Has it-
ambassador right now is throwing their phone through
So
the
what's? Let me
facility.
ask y'all something real quick. This wasn't on the rundown. Let me ask y'all something real quick. What's what's worse, the Note app apology or turning comments off on your Instagram post?
The Note app apology.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
100%. That tells me you just scribbled it in right away. As a nigga who life depends on his Note app, it's what comes to your head. Like I could be out somewhere. Oh, this is a good idea. Let me write this in my notes app.
Yeah.
So that means he was in his house on his yacht or whatever. Man, I messed up. Let me write a crappy apology real quick.
Now, you know what? With Chat GTP out there, you know what I'm saying? Things are different. You just go ahead and say, hey, write apology and put the keywords up in there, and then you just copy and paste that shit nowadays. So that's why the note apology is even worse now with the invention of Chat GTP.
All right.
Chat GPT screwed it up, man. But Bang, what's your thoughts on the Chargers situation?
First of all, I didn't watch the game. Because first of all, I was tired. Yeah, my son has had me up at 2:30 a.m. all week long. So I sat down and I was like, yo, I'm gonna watch this game. And then I saw Antonio Pierce walking. No, they had the camera behind him, and he was walking into the field and he was high-fiving. And when my thought went from football game to what's that Antonio Pierce claim, I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna watch this game because this is not gonna be an entertaining game. I woke up at about 11 and my TV was still on Amazon Prime, and that shit said 63. And I said, yo, what did I miss here? So going back, looking at the highlights and everything, I was like, yeah, Brandon Staley, this is it, because this is a mini buy. And I've been saying it so much that, Scott, you've been messing with me by because I keep saying the San Diego Chargers, because I be remembering the Stan Humphrey days as opposed to the Phillip Rivers days or Justin Herbert days. But yeah, it was time. And I hear people saying Bill Belichick, but if I am the LA Chargers, I'm calling Jim Harbaugh and giving Jim Harbaugh control over the franchise rather than Bill. Because see, here's the difference between the two, right? Bill has been a terrible GM the last 5 years. So if you bring Bill over and Bill says he wants control over player personnel, you see what he's been doing for the last couple of years. He sucked at it. So if I'm the LA Chargers with a quarterback, Eckler is a decent running back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to shit on him. Keenan Allen, you got to make decisions on him because his cap hit is high, along with Khalil Mack. But you do got Quentin Johnson. And if you get him for stop missing balls and shit, Pauls, you know what I'm saying? You have a pretty good wide receiver. You got an offensive line that's pretty decent too. They're injured right now, but when healthy, they are a top 10, top 15 offensive line. Long story short, they need Harbaugh. They need somebody younger, somebody fresher, just came out the college game and better at player personnel right now than Bill Belichick. When we talk about Bill Belichick and player personnel, we're continuing to talk about the heyday of the Patriots and not what's been going on to make this team terrible for the past couple of years. It's not just been Mac Jones and the malpractice that he did with Mac Jones by having your former defensive guy and your special teams guy to be offensive coordinators and shit. The issue has been Bill Belichick, the GM. You can't give that man control over your franchise player personnel because he has been terrible at that shit. I'll trust Jim Harbaugh to do that. So call him, see how much it's going to take for him to get there, pay him that bread, and he loves Justin Herbert, so he'll be happy and he'll make it work.
That'd be just my luck that they get Jim Harbaugh, and then I have to start liking the Chargers now. That'd be just my fucking luck. It would be. It would be. But that other guy is going. That other guy is going now. So
what would be worse for you that you have to what if Jim Harbaugh comes to the Bears and they keep Justin Fields? Now you got to root for Ohio State quarterback with a Michigan coach. How would that work out?
But you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
You know the way that my mind works? That would be the perfect amount of chaos for me to fucking love it. It would be the perfect amount of chaos for me to go and buy a Justin Fields jersey. It would be because that's just the I don't know how to explain it, guys. I don't know if y'all know that much about me, but that's a little bit of me. Is a little bit of chaos. I like it.
Little chaos. It's a
little
tad
bit
bit
of,
chaos.
That's why I love Kirby Enthusiasm. It's just the right amount of chaos. It's a little bit.
And one time for the guy, man, for last season 12.
Season 12, man, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, but I am sad it is the last season of the greatest comedy show.
Shout out to Larry David.
The LD.
Yeah.
But let's go from one Michigan resident to another. Okay. That is Mr. Draymond Green. This guy, it's been a pretty eventful week in the association this week. Of course, the Lakers won the in-season championship game last Saturday. Coming to this, man, Wemby AD, nice battle. We had a top-tier dark-skinned nigga battle between SGA and De'Aaron the other way. But De'Aaron needs a better nickname, man. Swiper is not fire. That's not a fire nickname.
That's nasty
Swiper
work.
Ain't fire. It's nasty work. But we had SGA and De'Aaron go at it. We had Giannis drop 64 on the Pacers, and the Pacers stole niggas' ball. Yeah. Pause. And now we have Draymond, who just adding on to his legion of NFL hits. Now, I gave my personal opinion on the situation on I'm Not Gonna Hold You Halftime, which is exclusively on Patreon. I want to know, as we know that he's been suspended indefinitely. He has sat down with a new general manager of the Warriors, Mike Dunleavy Jr., who I call Tom Wamsgans of the Golden State Warriors. That's pretty much what he is. We've had Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr has actually said disparaging things, I guess, or critical things about Draymond for the first time. We still have not heard from Stephen Curry, and he's been suspended indefinitely. They will figure out what his suspensions be. I said on Wednesday.
Steph did talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
It ain't gonna be more than what he gonna give you.
It was Steph speak.
Steph just was like, "Yo, we need to change." He needs to change this shit.
Steph got to move some tables in there, man. I think he should spend 10 to 15 games to get a point across. Mari, what do you feel as a fellow Michigan native? Of course, he's from Michigan State, not Michigan, but y'all both the same state.
But
tell me what you feel about the situation.
Here's the thing: it's not just Michigan. We have the same birthday. Same exact birthday, bro.
Okay, your birthday.
March 4th is the same. And so every time he does anything, whether it's good or bad, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, man, hey, when the motherfuckers Google your birthday and they see what's going on, you making us look good. But you're turning around doing Tekken moves, bro, in the basketball game, and I just don't like that because I'm going to tell you what happened. This is how I knew he was wilding. It wasn't just because he turned around and punched him. It wasn't just because I know his history. It's because my wife, who doesn't even watch basketball, sent me a clip and said, this dude is wilding. And I said, yeah, this motherfucker out of control. Yeah, because the wife he sent it, she don't even watch basketball. And she said, yo, he's wilding. She said, I know people hate playing with him. And I'm sitting there like, you might be on to something. Yeah. You might be on to something. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it that I don't like is that, like, Draymond has been like the poster child for standing on business. Sometimes literally, but now it's like I don't know how to hog tie people. Like, bro, we saw you, dog. You turned around and like, dog, you're not gonna tell me that a guy as smart as him with his basketball IQ who can score, in the post at times, right? Like, you can feel somebody on your hip, you know exactly where they are. So when you turn around, you know where to be. You're not gonna tell me that, oh, I'm not that accurate of a puncher. But you are that accurate of a guy, like basketball IQ wise. You know where he was at. You turn right around, you wind that motherfucker up on some YI order type time, and then you hit him, dog. I just don't like that part where you running away from, whatever, right? Like you punched Jordan Poole. We saw the pitch, we saw the footage, and then you come out, a couple months later, you explain the situation. Don't try to run from this shit. Now, man, you are who you are, bro. She just told us that. That Pistons team is partially to blame because he grew up around that smoke. He caught a contact off that smoke, and now he's living that out. You know what I'm saying? So I just I just don't like it because we birthday brothers, man. I just want him to do better. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think the NBA should do about it? Because
I mean, I think they're doing what they can do now because what I thought was they wanted to fine him an amount that like the Players Association would have been like, no. So they was just like, you know what? We're gonna suspend him indefinitely. And when that game check number gets up to the number that we had in mind, then we'll probably think about bringing him back. That's what I thought when they said indefinitely. When they didn't immediately put a number on it, like a number of games, I said, yeah, they're really trying to send a message like financially and say, okay, well, you don't really care about missing games because the Golden State Warriors have been a juggernaut for so long, but like now they're kind of on the, the downside of it, it appears. And it's like, all right, well, now you got to pay taxes. Yeah, now you got to pay your tab now. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to sit you down for a minute until that game check number reaches a number that we're comfortable with. We'll think about bringing you back. That's what I think. I think they're doing what they can do.
Dante, what's your take on this?
I mean, I think Draymond is getting suspended indefinitely because of his reputation. It's not just the ball, which was crazy, like you said. The full 360 helicopter punch was outrageous, clearly blatant, but I don't care about him, the stuff he did at the press conference lineup. I didn't expect him to just own up to it and say, yeah, my bad. That's not Draymond. We've never seen him do that. So as far as the suspension, I think with the league, he'll probably get 15 based off his reputation. But I think it's at a point now where the reason people are really outraged about it is because the production isn't matching the antics. Like, it's one thing if you're doing all this and like, when the Warriors were in their heyday, the prime of their run, as we see now, is coming to an end most likely. Draymond was like, he had damn to get a triple double. He was facilitating. He could score, like you said. He cutting to the basket, doing things like that. But he was a constant contributor, and now lately he's been like just a constant hindrance to that basketball team. And so when you get to that point, you got to start asking some serious questions. Obviously, because Jordan Poole acts the way he acts, people tried to give him a pass for not knocking him out, but rocking his shit, which they, in any other case, I feel like the young player that we just paid is gonna get, the benefit of the doubt around over the guy, over Draymond. But because they wanted to run it back one more time with the core, you've seen this. And it's something we've seen with Dre and Clay is that, they have the, I don't want to say arrogance because they've earned it. They've won a championship. They've been in that city doing what they do. But them holding on and not wanting to let go. And now it's at the moment now where it's like, this may force them to finally do what they need to do, and that's break that team completely up. Like, it's a wrap. You just paid Draymond. I don't know who's going to take that deal, but you got to just make some changes because they're not going to win as currently constructed.
I've been saying that Steph is he got a red wedding somebody. He got a red wedding somebody, or he either gonna have to demand a trade, man, because he's playing too well to be dealing with this. Bang, what's your opinion on everything Draymond and what the NBA needs to do about it?
I'm a little sympathetic because I think there's some stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we'll never know. Like, Draymond always been a wild nigga, right? But what's been going on for the past 2.5, 3 years, I question what's going on off the court and if he's bringing it on the court. The clincher for me was the Rudy Gobert thing. That nigga choked Rudy Gobert, fam. He didn't grab him by the waist, locking his arms so he won't swing. He didn't push. If you watch the video, fam, he ran over there, jumped, and grabbed him by the neck and gave him the $1 million dream. Something is up outside of the basketball court that I think that's affecting him. That's why I don't think if 15 games revolves around 30 days, then it'll be 15. I won't put the amount of games on this. I'll put the amount of days because there are guidelines that he needs to do until he get on the court. And I think these guidelines are more anger management and more mental. Going to see a therapist, counselor, whatever, talk about some things. Also, possibly give him some time to get some things in order for him because I don't think this is nothing basketball related. I think that I just have a feeling, and I don't know shit. I just got a feeling that there's some things that's going on with Draymond that he's bringing to the court, and I think Kevin Garnett probably, if you read between the lines, Kevin Garnett kind of alluded to that because, like he said, "Yo, when I was around Draymond,
I mean
I ain't
Kevin
see
Durant.
this." Kevin Durant, excuse me. When Kevin Durant said the other day, that when I was around Draymond Green, he didn't do this, and that's the same man that called him a bitch, fam. So
Right, right.
if
Yeah.
KD is saying, "Yo, when I was around him, he wasn't doing that," and quite honestly, these changes started when KD left. It
Yeah.
shows me that it's something outside, it's something off the court that has messed up the psyche of Draymond and put him in the overdrive because Jokic didn't do shit. He didn't do shit. He
I
talking
don't
about he
think you're too
grabbed.
far off on that. I don't think you're too far
Hey,
off on that because he
I
he
don't think
talked
so.
about when he choked Gobert, he said like he didn't realize that it was like that. Like looking at the footage back, he was like, "Oh shit!" Like I didn't even know it was. You know what I'm saying? Like
He's acting like Bucky Barnes when he snaps out of being the Winter
yeah, he
Soldier.
was like, "Damn!" Like that. It was. Oh shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like he
blacked
had a
out.
chance to sit back. So I don't think you're too far off on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm with that.
If y'all hear barking in the background, I apologize. That's my mother's dog. I am visiting my
I ain't
folks
hitting
for the
nothing.
holidays.
Got that dog
Okay,
in him.
I'm just glad y'all couldn't hear. That's good. But I'm visiting my folks for the holidays. I don't have animals in my house because I don't really bang with animals. All
Hey,
love
if
to
you
Peter.
listening to the Drake album, just say that, man. You don't gotta
Oh,
come in
I'm
and
going.
doing all this.
I'm being a dog pound this Sunday. You know what I'm saying. I got a
Okay.
nice caption if the Bears win on Sunday. Anyway, anyway, let's move on to our next topic, man. Before we get into Cousin Dan Fridays, which will be in about 15 minutes. See what wild stuff Dan got to say. But let's get into a little bit of NFL. We'll preview our must watch week 15 games after Cousin Dan. But let's talk about a former NBA. I mean, not former NBA, former league MVP, Mr. Cam Newton. Cam Newton's been doing his media thing lately, man. He's got the Funky Fridays podcast. He's got his new football podcast called 4th and 1. And he made a comment on there a couple days ago about, calling, Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott and a couple others game managers and said, they're not the game changers, they're the game managers. And we'll get to the actual, comments he said in a minute, but they brought it up on Get Up. And Kimberly Brown, that's her last name, right? Bang, that's her last
Martin.
name. Martin. I said
Martin.
Brown. Kimberly Martin. She went a little crazy. Like I get the sentiment of what she was saying, but she went very personal on Cam, basically talking about his hats and you're just mad because you're not in the league anymore. Woo, woo, woo. My whole thing on it is this. I thought the capes for Cam, from social media and others were a little unnecessary because if you're in this media space, your opinions are going to be critiqued, by somebody, whether or not you're a former player or not. And people might actually go a little hard on you because you're a former player. I had a problem with people taking personal shots like she did, but Cam can be criticized. Just because he's an MVP, former league MVP, doesn't mean he's automatically correct. But I just felt like she did enough. And he put a per my last email response last night, which I thought was very well said. It was 9 minutes. I watched all 9 minutes of it. Basically explained his take in more detail. I still didn't 100% agree, but basically said, at the end of the day, you're replaceable. I'm independent. He said, at the end of the day, you speaking on stuff you don't know. If there's anybody who's qualified about speaking about quarterbacks, is me. And he pretty much, said, he's that nigga in the most professional way ever, which I loved. I'm gonna go to Bang first because, of course, we're in media. You pay attention to a lot too. What's your take on clearly the outcry, not outline, but the backlash this Cam has gotten, but more specifically Kimberly Martin, and that's the whole little thing. We're coming to Cam like he's just some bum who shouldn't be talking.
I think sometimes folks get carried away in front of the TV screen, and she kind of did. I think part of what she was saying is right. Like just even looking at the quote, part of the quote, right? With her saying, hold on, let me pull it back up. In the year 2023, where it's all about NFL backups, where's Cam Newton? Not on the NFL roster, right? He's talking about all of these NFL game managers. He sounds like the people are literally tweeting me at their basement, like, get back in the kitchen, like you're at home watching me. Here's the thing, right? Cam Newton believes that Cam Newton is one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Cam Newton at the crib he's doing what we're doing right now.
Yep.
But Cam Newton is a former NFL MVP, 15-1, all of that stuff, right? And Cam Newton in 2023 feels like that he's one of the top 32 best. And I think he picked quarterbacks that he know for a fact that he's better than. And if he was in their position, in their shoes, on the teams that they were in, that those teams would be better. The problem is the kind of the negative connotation. The game managers is damn near negative at this point. So when people hear game manager, you're all of a sudden thinking negative. You're basically saying like, dude ain't shit, basically, when you're saying that. But here's the problem to me, how Cam came off in the clip. Game managers win Super Bowls, fam. They do.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I need to do what I need to do to help get this team over. Don't make no mistakes. Score touchdowns. Make sure I get my team in the right spot and call it a day. I don't have to be a top 10 quarterback. I don't. Peyton Manning got 2 rings. The first ring, let's be real, fam. Let's be totally honest about that first ring.
Be very honest about both.
Right. Be very honest. They don't win that Super Bowl without their running backs.
Sure don't.
The second ring, we all know, is all defense. The first couple of rings that Tom Brady got, that was off of the New England Patriots defense when he was a game manager. So what we have to do as media people is stop using that term negatively, because Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott are both in the MVP conversation. And they ain't in there just because they game managers. But with those teams, with the defenses that they have, be one. Because if I'm out here trying to be Mr. Spectacular, Mr. Fantastic, I might fuck this up. I'm going to manage this team, don't fuck up, meet them in the NFC Championship game, beat their ass, go to the Super Bowl with a ring. San Francisco would have won a ring last year if the game manager don't need Tommy John surgery. That's what we have to get away from, the negative connotation around the phrase game managers, because everybody ain't got to win MVP in order to win a ring. Shouts out to people like Bryant Jordan. Shouts out to people like Trent Dilfer. Shouts out to early Tom Brady. And there's others who were game managers and still got them a ring.
I think Mari waiting for you to name somebody who you didn't name. Two-time Super Bowl champion Eli Manning.
Oh yeah, Eli Manning. Eli Manning, game manager. He managed the shit out of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
He made some shit happen too, nah. Give me started.
Yeah, he made it happen.
But yes,
game managers make shit happen.
But yes. You are 1,000% right, and I want to tell you, I want to compare that to another term that I think we as like cool niggas need to take back, and that's the term hip hop head. A lot of times when you hear the term hip hop head, it's attached to a dude that's like Dusty scaring the whole nine, right? But we need to take that back because hip hop is some cool shit.
Water out.
It's some cool shit, bro. We're cool guys, bro. We need to take back a cool term that talks about some cool shit.
Hold on, no. Put the screen back on all of us, Scott. Hold on.
You understand me?
Hold on. I just need this explanation right here. Describe the hip hop nigga that's scared of hoes.
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. The hip hop nigga that's scared of hoes is
character on Brown Sugar, nigga.
The hip hop nigga that's scared of hoes is the nigga that's like, look, man, fuck it. It ain't shit but rap posters. I'm coming around you. If you talking to a girl, I'm gonna walk up to you and ask you, hey, what's the Pheromone shit from what's the name? Whatever. Like I'm gonna put you on the spot.
5 elements of hip hop.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah,
and
like I'm gonna
go try to freestyle while you trying to
trying to freestyle in your ear. And as soon as he starts talking about hip hop to you, and he's gonna say hip hop the same way that Michael Jordan says the game of basketball, but as soon as he says hip hop to you, his nose is gonna get this big on his face.
Or he calls rappers. He calls
1,000%. He calls rappers. He says there's a difference between rappers and MCs. That's what he says. and then also his outfits are always like a great Nike basketball shoe that we all love, and then the worst pair of jeans you ever saw known to man. And then there's gonna be a rap T-shirt that he got made at the middle of the mall where like Run don't really look like Run and DMC don't really look like DMC. So it's gonna be one of those type of guys. Now, again, when I look around this panel, I see cool dudes, and I know a lot of cool dudes in real life, and I'm a cool dude in real life. And hip hop is some cool shit. We need to take that back. It's the same way that game managers need to take back the term game manager, because you got to think about it, bro. If somebody said you was the manager at insert company here, you're gonna look at that like an elite title. Yeah, I'm managing this. I'm keeping this shit in control. You think just anybody can go over there and do what Brock Purdy is doing? If you think that, then that's cool, but they can't, because if they could, then they would, bro. He was Mr. Irrelevant, and we talking about him in the MVP conversation. So I don't think game manager is a derogatory term. I think that's what Cam said in his explanation. But the thing I love most about what Cam said was, you can tell how happy Cam is being independent and doing his own thing, and not feeling like he owes anybody anything.
Yeah,
he's doing what makes him happy. So when he talks about, come buy one of these goofy ass hats you making fun of and shit, that's a guy that's confident in what he's doing. And you can feel that, like, as creators, we're all creators on here. I'm rooting for Cam Newton. So when he gets mentioned by these networks, I'm so happy for him, because it's like, bro, you ruffling feathers and you causing that one ripple that's gonna lead to that big wave. So keep doing your thing, Cam. I love what you said. That shit was incredible. I loved it. I watched that shit twice, and that was a decent video. I watched that shit twice.
Hey, before you pass it over to Dante, I just got to say this. There's some white quarterback that is considered a game manager that is at their home right now, that will never say this publicly, but they have said this sentence. Oh, man, game manager is the new nigga. They're saying that right now. They're saying that right now. Because every time somebody says something derogatory and they keep going derogatory, somebody is saying, hey, saying this is like saying the N-word. There's a quarterback in the NFL that keep hearing the term game manager, and they are saying, hey, man, that's like calling a black man an N-word, man. The game manager. You can book it.
I'll pass this to Dante, man. What's your take on all this, bro?
I mean, Cam made some very good points. I really liked his rebuttal more than anything, because people took everything he said about football and started taking personal shots. And I think a lot of this is partially because he never, officially retired. I think if this was something where he was just, 2 feet into the media space and letting people know, like, yeah, this is it. This is it for me. This is what I do now. There might have been a different reaction. But also what I loved in his rebuttals when he said, let's not forget, I've done this at the highest level. Like, I've won a Heisman. I've won the league MVP. So if anybody is qualified to give their opinion on quarterback play, it is Cam Newton. It don't matter what you feel about him, but that's just another example of where we are in sports media now. Everything's personal. Everybody wants to take personal shots. It's more so about the personalities you like. Kimberly Martin, she's a TV personality, so she was being funny. I didn't have a problem with what she said, but it was a lot of other people who were just taking personal shots at Cam, and it's like, nah, bro, don't forget. Cam put that team on his back with Ted Ginn Jr. was his number 1 receiver. Like, don't do that. Like, he had some seasons, and like I've seen him come down to the Georgia Dome and light that bitch up. Like, Cam was a game changer. So that's like, I knew what he was talking about already, but when he went even more in depth with it, it made sense. Like game changers win Super Bowls. Russell Wilson got him one. You know,
Russell
we've
Wilson
seen
wasn't
it.
a game changer. He wasn't a game changer when he won that Super Bowl.
No,
Nah,
I
he was
said game
game
manager.
manager.
Game
Yeah.
manager. That's why I said game managers
Oh,
win
okay.
Super
I
Bowls.
thought you said game changer for that.
No. I said Cam was a game changer. No, but game managers win Super Bowls. We've named several. So I mean, it wasn't a negative thing. It's just the fact that everybody, like we said, uses that and then with a negative connotation. But I really liked his rebuttal because he could have, been more a little saltier, but he wasn't. He respectfully, gave his rebuttal and said, "Oh, just don't forget, like, I really used to do this." And so when with all of them pretty much acting like, "Oh, you just mad because you're not in the league," he's just like, "No, I'm good. I'm content with where I am. I know what I've done." So I think it was corny for those who did take the personal shots at Cam. And at the end of the day, like you said, we just giving our opinion, bro. If you don't like what somebody says, don't listen to it. You ain't got to try to, take it personal and shit on them.
Yeah, I think that one thing about this landscape of sports media today is, I feel like there needs to be respect between both parties, between the ones like us who haven't played a sport professionally, and for the guys who have, for the ladies and for the guys who have played professionally. Like, I'm not part of the belief, oh, you didn't play, so you don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's just a sport, bro. I can watch it and understand the game. Now, does a person who played it have a different opinion or a different way to look at it? 100%. Cam Newton will look at the game ways that I can watch film all day, and I will never be able to look at the game the way Cam Newton does. So I feel like there needs to be some kind of a mutual respect between the two, where it's like the non-athletes take shots at the athletes. Athletes think that you're not an athlete, you don't know what you're talking about. So I do feel like one thing about it, as we all know, especially like on Twitter and things like that, it goes from one conversation to a complete other extreme. So it went to not even talking about the original things that Cam Newton, just to start talking about dumping on his career, which is crazy. Like he said, 11 years in the NFL, a league MVP. He won a Heisman. He took a team to the Super Bowl. Like that Carolina team, that 2015 Panthers team, man, was crazy. I mean, it was so many. That the reason, he's the reason that white boys was dabbing. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Like, he was the reason.
Yeah.
I know the Migos made the song, but he took it, global. You know what I'm saying?
Except for Greg Olsen was pissed. Greg Olsen was like, man, stop doing that shit.
Yeah. I'm not gonna speak on Greg. I love Greg Olsen. I love Greg Olsen. I feel like
the Ninth Floor crew, though. That's a member of the Ninth Floor crew. You know what I'm saying? What a song.
Boy, you got legendary verse out there.
G Red. Perfect timing, man. Dante can let Dan in. We're about to start the last Cousin Dan Fridays of 2023, man.
I'm happy about that.
Don't be happy.
Hey, no, listen. Hey, no, hold on. Real quick. This dude right here, man, listen. I'm happy to be here. Let me just say this before we even start. I'm happy to be here with homie right here. It's my first time meeting him. Shout out to Cousin Dan. Every time I see the clips, bro, I don't give a fuck if I agree, if I disagree, whatever. That shit is entertaining as fuck. And I'll always be like, well, at least a little. And I'm saying maybe I'm ridiculous too. I'm just saying at least a little bit because I'm here for entertainment. I'll be like,
That's what sports is, man. It's all about entertainment, man.
Definitely. Cuzzo, how's it going?
What's going on, cuz? What's up, man?
What is going on, brother? You actually, your first topic on here is actually what we were just talking about.
A word?
With Cam Newton. So I'm for sure. You get right to it because we gave our take on it. I think from what you wrote in the notes, it's a much different take than what we had. What you got on Cam?
Man, I need Cam Newton to shut the fuck up, bro. I promise you, bro. Like, listen, man. My first topic, I'm sorry. Let me just hop into it. Yeah. It's called Come On, Cam. What a fall from grace. Okay? And I'm going to take my fucking glasses off. Listen. Cam Newton, bro. Like, we loved you. Loved watching you play. I think you're a fucking amazing athlete. You've done amazing fucking things on the football field. But now you just look like you kind of butthurt, bro. Like, stop it, bro. Like, and it's shit like this. like this is he asking motherfuckers why I'm not in the league. It's not 32 quarterbacks better than me. I kind of agree with that to a degree. But motherfucker, it's just too much trouble, bro. Like it's the fucking NFL. You know what I'm saying? It's a MAGA league, bro. Like you just be causing unnecessary shit. And it's like to call motherfuckers game managers. First of all, Cam, like you was nice, bro, but you talking like you was fucking like Aaron Rodgers out there or some shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That one Super Bowl, that MVP, that shit was dope, bro. But you ain't win. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the fucking day, motherfucker, like the last thing we remember in the biggest game of your career, your ass ain't want to die for a fumble. Now you coming at motherfuckers calling them game managers and shit like that. I think we've established if you have two fucking eyes, Brock Purdy is a little more than a game manager. Now the motherfucker's not Patrick Mahomes by any means, but he's making throws that Trent fucking Dilfer can't make, bro. So it's sad to me, man. Like it's like you hate no motherfuckers. I mean, the Dak shit I'm not even gonna address, bro. Like, but the motherfuckers you named, it's just like, bro, like Cam, like you had your chances, bro. And I really thought you deserved a fair shot. Like you said, when you went to New England, you didn't know the fucking playbook. You was just kind of winging it. You needed time to sit. I agree. I don't think you should be out of the league, but this ain't the way, bro. Like it's just like, dog. Now you just look like you hating, man. You know what I'm saying? Just keep dressing how you dress, type of hieroglyphics, and be cool, bro. Do the podcast, but it's like, dog, you ain't got to hate on another man, bro. Like, that's whack as hell, dog. Like, so I just need him to shut the fuck up, man. I'm sorry.
We were talking about what Bane brought up a point where he feels like the word game manager needs to be changed with the
No, it don't.
the way it's
You
impressed.
know what the fuck a game manager is.
No, I said no. I didn't say it needs to be
Trent Dilfer,
changed.
everyone.
I didn't say.
What is Trent Dilfer, Bane?
Wait, Dan, because I agree with you. I actually agree with you. I said that niggas be using the term game manager like it's like these niggas is Huff. Game managers actually didn't want a goddamn Super Bowl. You ain't got to be a top 10 quarterback just to win a damn Super Bowl. Like, right, yeah, exactly my point. Like,
but we know that's not what he meant.
Well, I don't think Cam. Yeah, I think Cam meant it in a disrespectful way.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he meant it in a disrespectful way, but game managers be out here winning and shit. Like, you don't have to be jumping over, a whole bunch of hoops to win, because even some of the best quarterbacks of all time, Tom Brady, when he first won his first couple of ones, he was a game manager. Just don't fuck up. Defense got you. Peyton Manning, that first ring, them running backs got them that damn ring, along with the defense. Them running backs and defense.
I'm not finna even dive into
that. You ain't got to be a Bills fan. If anybody with eyes, he didn't dominate the game.
I ain't saying it's still no. What I'm saying is in that game,
20 audibles at the line. But
what I'm saying
calling him a game manager.
We're not. I said in that game, Peyton Manning managed the game because them running backs was whooping our ass. Yeah, and that title they won in Denver, he was the epitome of a game manager.
He was washed
at that point. Yeah, he was washed. Cam Newton, if Cam Newton ass would have been a game manager, maybe that game would have been a lot better. But his superstar ass didn't want to dive and get that ball when that fumble happened either. So shit.
Von Miller was humping his ass up and down the field. That's what happened.
Yes,
that
he
was scared to dive in that pause. But come on, man. Like it's not much nuance here for me, bro. We know what Cam meant. I don't like his follow-up made it even worse, bro. You know who the fuck Trent Dilfer is. You know what a game manager is. You know that shit is disrespectful as fuck. You know exactly who you named. I don't think you could put Cam Newton on the Niners or Cowboys right now and get the same fucking result. Because that nigga, I mean, Cam Newton, he deserves to be in the league. I think he could be an amazing backup.
He better than Easton Stick.
Learn the system, but that motherfucker shit like this, he ain't worth the trouble. It's not worth it, bro. And I hate to say that because he black, you know what I'm saying? But bro, they not finna deal with this type of shit, dog. But you can't do with these like Cam. We seen you throw before, bro. That shit, you was selling shit, goddamn it, to the wherever the Hornets was playing at. When you was fucking throwing the football, bro, you was cold. You know what I'm saying? You scrambled, you fucking dove when you got tackled, but nigga, you was not dead shot out there. So how the fuck you gonna talk about another quarterback? Like that's wild to me, bro.
What's the next thing you got lined up for us, man?
All right, man. I want to get into some boxing. All right. I don't know if y'all don't talk about boxing much on this motherfucker. I actually just got done boxing. That's how I stay my big ass in shape. So let's talk about Joshua versus Wilder, man. I mean, do we really fucking care? Does anyone care?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I'm gonna watch it, but I don't
There you
give
go.
a fuck,
I'm gonna watch it. There you go.
Like Deontay Wilder, you got your bum ass whooped by Tyson Fury 3 fucking times, in my opinion. But whatever. And Anthony Joshua, yo ass been ducking Tyson Fury for like the last 4 years. Now I know Fury ain't looked too good in that little exhibition bout, which we all know he didn't really take fucking serious. Like that was just to get old boy a payday. But I mean, this shit should be entertaining, man. But I don't think either of these two are the best fucking boxers, bro. Like this fight, if this fight would have happened like 7 years ago or some shit like that, 6-7 years ago, it would have been like box office. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna steal that shit and watch it. But I'm not like putting any effort into it. Don't call me for no fucking fight party. Like it's just gonna be too like motherfuckers out there slugging. It's gonna be entertainment, bro.
And that's where I'm at with it too, is because like I usually gauge like what the fight is looking like based off of like my father-in-law, right? My father-in-law texts or he'll call and say, "Hey, come through, bring it." You know what I'm saying? We doing this. This is a fight that, like you said, a long time ago, I would have cared about it. Now, what Drake said, that's just something to do when it's nothing to do. Like it is what it is. It's gonna happen. It is
y'all the two OVO captains here.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm right at home. Then.
We're gonna get along.
Bet. Okay, that's all you had to say, Scott. Yeah, cool.
Dan, look at us agreeing. Look at us. We're here.
Westsiders don't do that much.
We don't do that much. But no, I agree with you. I agree with you 110%. If this was 5 years ago, I'd definitely be very excited. And I mean, I'm a boxing fan. I watch boxing. It damn near don't matter who it is. I'm actually got to watch the undercard. I'm gonna finish watching the shit from ESPN, the Top Rank card. That happened last week. I'm gonna watch the fight. I might steal it. I might not. It depending on how I'm feeling that day. But that undercard looks nice. So and that's why I might buy it, because the undercard on that motherfucker looks like it's gonna be nice. But them two fighting, no. If I'm not excited about it, because this shit should have been happening. But
it's Tyson Fury's kids, bro. That's all they are right now.
But at the same time, real quick, though, I watched Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe 3. You know what I'm saying? And I watched other heavyweight bouts between the third and the fourth contender, the fifth and the sixth contender, and all of that stuff. So, like, if I look at this fight, I'm looking at it like Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield. Two dudes that just might be a little bit past their prime, but they trying to get that other payday. And in order to get that bigger payday, I got to whoop somebody's ass. So that fight's not lasting past 4. I will say that. The fireworks will make up from these dudes taking all day long.
It's going to be entertaining, It's just sad for the sport. I want to see the sport thrive, man. And a fight like this is just sad for the heavyweight division, should I say. I want to see the heavyweight division thrive. Because that's the fucking, like, that's what I like seeing fight the most. I'm not into welterweights that much. And that's, like, who's dominating the sport right now. And they're 140 fucking pounds, like, the size of women and shit. No offense to any women, but that shit don't do it for me. And I need to see fucking heavyweights fight. You know what I'm saying? So I just seen that shit and I was just like, that's pathetic, man. But that's what a heavyweight division is right now.
Before we get to Dante's takes, Mariano's got a roll. Mari, tell everybody they're gonna follow you. It's the last appearance on the show of 2023. Let them know they can get in tune with you, brother. You muted, dog.
Mute.
You muted, my dad. There you
go. There we go. We right back. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to cousin Dan. We gotta talk, because
we gotta chop it up.
Yeah, we gonna talk. We gonna talk. Matter of fact. Real quick before I get up out of here, let me just give you my very quick take on the rest of the things that's going on. Far as the Dak shit, I'm a Giants fan. I'm not mad at Dak. Like, I shout out to him. Do your thing. His off the field shit, another story. I don't want to talk about that. But on the football field, I'm not mad at him. Zach LaVine. All I'm gonna say about Zach LaVine is look at what Kobe White is doing with this motherfucker out the lineup. Fuck him. Get him out of here. Ben Roethlisberger, fuck him too. Anywhere if you're there and you see Ben Roethlisberger, stay away from the bathroom. Fuck him. Did I say fuck Ben Roethlisberger already?
Yeah, I got something. I got something in the Goofy Mog of the week.
Yeah, fuck him. But follow me on Twitter at Mariano, 2 N's, 2 O's. Like I tell your she asked me for money. It's Christmas season. What you expect from me? You know what I'm saying? 2023, we'll be right back, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll holler.
Yes, sir, brother. Bro. Yes, sir. Dante, man, give your take on this, and then we'll go to Dan's next point.
Oh no, this fight is like you said, 5 to 7 years too late. Like nobody really cares, and like the fight hype has definitely died. And with Wilder, my whole thing is he was beating bums the whole time, and then the one time he got in there with someone with some type of skill, he got his ass whooped. So like I've never been a fan of Wilder as a boxer. Like I understand that you know, and that's even with saying we all know. Like you said, we all three of us, we love boxing, so we know heavyweights. A lot of them they get down. It's about the action, but at the same time, there was literally no skill but Wilder. He was out there just like throwing haymakers. Like
he got a right hand,
right? He just got a nice right hand, and he was out there bullying people. So
bullying
this fight
like me and banging that motherfucker like
exactly. And Joshua, once Joshua lost to Ortiz, he lost his luster because he had been ducking everybody, staying over there in Great Britain, fighting all them fighters. Don't get me wrong, there's some good fighters over there, but the prime fighters are over here, and he wouldn't fight anybody. So it's something they're gonna make a couple dollars, but I'm not really pressed for it. Like I said, I'm definitely not paying for it.
I mean, Usyk and Fury is the next fight that I want to see. That motherfucker Alexander Usyk, he nice.
Yeah, that's February.
Yeah, he whooped Joshua ass too. So I need Tyson to get in shape for that because I think if Tyson is on his game and he not fucking down in them motherfucking beers and shit, he should wash Usyk. But we gonna see.
Let's go to your next one, man. You getting some W's, man, with Dak over these last couple weeks. Big win this past Sunday over the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Go ahead, talk your shit.
What Boosie daughter say? I told y'all niggas. I told y'all niggas. I told y'all niggas. Dak is elite. Just fucking say it, bro. I know it hurts. I know that shit hurt.
I have no Dak hate. I don't hate Dak.
It's a lot of motherfuckers that do. As you know, my cousin.
Yeah.
A lot of America does. Because he plays for American team. But that motherfucker has been like, dog. And we got it. Honestly, I say Dak is elite. But McCarthy, that motherfucker calling some plays, dog. Like, Dak is thriving in that offense. And we got to give it up to him. Because motherfuckers thought he shouldn't have had that job. Kellen Moore, your ass was huff. You know what I'm saying? And you were the problem. Maybe for the Cowboys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You seen what's happening with the Chargers, but dog, that motherfucking Dak is elite, bro. He's playing the best football of his career. He should be thanking God that Mike McCarthy is his fucking coach. Because this motherfucker, like, I just watched him, like, dissect the Eagles. That motherfucker, he got the coldest cadence I've ever heard next to Omaha. Like, I mean, hey, bro, I'm sorry. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, man. I really think if Dak is playing like this and the fucking defense can be halfway decent, the Cowboys, they can come out the NFC, bro. I know they got their ass whooped by the Niners, but again, I don't trust Purdy. I don't trust him, bro. I think if you put the right pressure on that motherfucker like the Browns did, he can be got, bro. The Niners can be got. Now that's a tall order, but I think Dak is a top 5 quarterback in this league today. And fight me if you think differently.
I mean, if we judging off this, Dak is in the top 2. I mean, you can say he's number 1 right now.
He's MVP.
We talking about he's MVP. If I had a vote, I'd give him MVP right now. And I said last week on the show that they had to beat the Eagles. They not only beat the Eagles, they mollywopped them niggas.
They fucking
they mollywopped them, played well, and I think that the only question for the Cowboys the last couple of years has been, can Dak do it? And even when you bring up with the Purdy, to me, that's going to be what defense makes the other quarterback more uncomfortable between the Niners and the Cowboys, because both got things to prove. We don't know if Purdy can do the things that they need to do in the playoffs. We still need Dak to do it consistently. So I feel like as far as how Dak is playing, this has been a bad year for quarterback play. It's been bad. He has been over the top. If there was anybody else, and it goes to what you said, the hate that he gets. I said this on the Wednesday show on Patreon. If Josh Allen had these numbers, If Jalen Hurts had these numbers, if Lamar Jackson had, we wouldn't be hearing the end of it. Because it's Dak, there's always excuses to it. So I feel like if anything, this is the year right now for the Cowboys to make it. The NFC is the JV league right now. Honestly, the AFC ain't that much better. Like the number one team in the AFC is the Ravens. The Ravens can be had. The Dolphins, as we just saw, lost to Will Levis. They can be had. And until Pat gets some wide receivers, even though I'm still rolling the Chiefs.
To that point, I don't give a fuck. Listen, I'm gonna roll with Mahomes.
I'm going Mahomes to the grave.
He got us four out there as his receiving core, and I understand it. But that motherfucker, it's basically us four and Travis Kelce as his receivers right now. However, if the pressure's on the line, that motherfucker gonna make it shake, man. So
I'm giving Mahomes the Brady benefit of the doubt for the rest.
Exactly.
Kelsey's not off the hook. He has 33 drops, but he can turn together at a minute's notice.
Dante, they won the game, that last fucking game, and then man, that shit. I don't even want to get into it, bro. But yeah,
Dante, but since Courtney isn't here, you're the biggest Dak detractor on here. What do you say to this?
Damn.
No, I mean the last couple of weeks, bro. I've turned the corner on, like I said, on Officer Prescott. Like I think what I do sometimes, I let my off the field issues with niggas overshadow what's going on.
But you can't deny. Spring break. What
Getting knocked out happened.
You never lost a fight in your life.
That ain't why. The Dallas Police Department.
I'm talking about you gave money to the police when they are overfunded in every city. Like that was just a little extra.
Oh, he donated. But when did he do that? I ain't know that. When did he do that?
Right during the middle of the Black Lives Matter shit. Like, come on, Dak. Like, come on, bro. Like, they budget already crazy, bro. You didn't have to do that. But no, I'm not gonna lie. But like as a quarterback, no, because I've always said like being a quarterback, especially the quarterback of the Cowboys, that's the hardest job in America, bro. Like 100%. You don't get all the praise or all the criticism. So this year, Dak, like finally, he's a full year removed from when he broke his ankle. He been balling. He's been hooping. He's been looking like the person he was before that.
And that was my thing. He came back on a short season off an injury, and he was throwing picks left and right. But it's like, damn, bro, like, but he's a Cowboys, and that year still wasn't a terrible year. His picks was just motherfuckers was like trying to throw him in the trash. I'm like, damn, bro.
Also, like Dak said, I'm not throwing 10 picks, and he only has 6 right now. So I gotta give him credit to that, man. Go to your last point, which this one I'm gonna have fun laughing at because you do not want this man on your team. Go ahead.
Listen, man. So usually I'm not a Bulls fan. I don't root for the fucking Bulls anyway, bro. But I need them to lose for a very specific reason, bro. I do not want Zach LaVine on the Lakers. Okay. I need these motherfuckers, and I see the schedule that's coming up. I don't believe in the fucking Heat anyway. I mean, anybody can beat the fucking Heat. That insanity shit they be doing when they get a fluke to the finals and shit. I don't believe in them motherfuckers. But I need them to go on like a 5-game losing streak, so they need Zach LaVine. I do not want to get taxed for fucking Zach LaVine. I've said this shit. Me and Mike at Please Say the Baby, we had this fucking argument every day, bro. Like, I'm straight. I'm good, bro. I'd rather just go at the West with what we got and wait to see who a free agent this offseason. But I don't need Zach LaVine, bro. That motherfucker don't play defense. Now, don't get me wrong. He'll go off and get your ass 50. But for the most part, bro, I get it. You want to go to LA and all this shit, nigga. You should have been trying to do this, bro. You get that much? What ain't he getting like 50 million soon or some shit? Like something.
I don't think he getting 50, but he getting around 40.
Dog, this motherfucker is, and it's just like for me, I don't want to call it the Westbrook situation because I don't think he's gonna come here and like go 1 for 9 and shit. But it's just like, dog, if the Lakers were to do it, they gonna get it's that Lakers LeBron tax, bro. They gonna ask for like Rui, Austin, D'Lo, first round pick, all types of wild shit. When James Harden just went for the Clippers for goddamn it, a cluck off Cicero, and it was cool. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, the shooting guard market said, I'm good. I need the Bulls to lose like 4 or 5 straight so they can see that they actually need Zach LaVine. That motherfucker Kobe, I know y'all think he like the next coming up.
Oh no, nobody on the show likes that nigga anymore. I got unfortunate news for you. Okay, so he's getting traded, and this is messed up. Zach LaVine's getting traded. It's just that's why he's hurt right now. The relationship between him and Billy Donovan is done. He's out of here. And this is the messed up part for the Lakers because I personally feel the Lakers don't need anything but to stay healthy. I think if they can stay healthy, they got a shot. I don't know if they beat Denver, but they got a shot to be in the race. Zach LaVine messes that up. I don't think he's Russell Westbrook mess it up type thing, but it don't matter if the Bulls win or lose. That nigga's gone. He's gone. And the messed up part is they're saying there's no market for Zach. And from what that people at the Athletic are saying, from what I've been hearing, that it's LA. Now it's not gonna be Austin Reeves and stuff like that, but the rumor is a late first, Rui Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell.
No,
Zach LaVine.
You can't.
That's what and they're just waiting for January 15th. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing.
Rui's the perfect backup for LeBron.
I'm just telling you what I'm. Reason that he's out is they're waiting for January 15th. So then the contracts that D'Lo and Rui just signed are tradable. That's what's the whole.
D'Lo, I thought didn't D'Lo's contract just become tradable today, and Rui's is on the 15th.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken. That's probably why they're waiting for both, because both of them going to be.
Because D'Lo's not playing tonight. That just made me think about that shit.
I say he's gonna get it. It's looking like the Lakers, but he is not gonna be. I guarantee this time next month, Zach LaVine will not be on the Chicago Bulls. I don't think it win or lose because the relationship is strained. So that's the unfortunate news I have.
Rich Paul be killing me. I love Rich Paul for AD and shit, but it's like, damn, bro, like then he started doing that clutch mafia shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bro, I do not want Zach LaVine. I just don't think. Again, I want to see this team fully healthy for like 10, 15 games. Yeah. Then we make a decision, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're sixth in the West. Like we're right in the mix, and we ain't
fourth. I think y'all fourth.
I thought we were sixth. I'm not sure.
Let me double check right now. Y'all are currently. You're right. You're six. Yeah. You're like a half game behind Sacramento.
Right. It should be like 2 games out of first. It's like this. And again, bro, I know people think it's a hot take. And we got our ass swept by Denver, but it's not like it was like 20 game sweeps. We just didn't have
these were all close games.
And Bron was on 1 foot. This motherfucker Bron, he went to Germany and got that Kobe. And that motherfucker is like on some other shit this year. I'm like, bro, all we needed was other motherfuckers, like a better rotation. And we could have competed with Denver, in my opinion. So that's something like there's no need to panic.
I think they got a shot, man. Let's wrap this up, man. We got a lot of other stuff to get into in the last episode of 2023 on a Friday. Let them know where they can find you, and just thank you for being on the show. The first couple weeks, this is going really where everybody has liked your takes and things like that. You really set the internet ablaze with the 2 reels you put out this week. So let the people know, where they can get in tune with you,
man. Bro. I'm only on Twitter at Dan_Glorious on Twitter is where you can find me. Listen, man, after fucking January 1st, you don't have to tell people Happy New Year. Just remember that shit. Larry David taught me that. I'm not going to fucking tell you Happy New Year on the 2nd or the 3rd or any fucking time after that. All right? Be safe, my people. Don't drink Hennessy. That shit is dog piss.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
All right, Cuzzo. Well, I'll let you. And we're going to, get into some NFL, man, as we're going to, go over these games. Last couple, the must-watch games of the week, man. And by the way, I love that we have football, NFL football on Saturdays for the rest of the year. At least up until the NFC Championship weekend, we have that. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's go over these my must-watch games of the week, man. First, I'm gonna start off with my sneaky good game. I've got Commanders Rams, and I say this is sneaky good because the Rams are in this like 6-team playoff chase to get one of the last 2 seeds, which of course the Bears are in, and we'll be talking about on overtime. We'll be talking about the Bears. We'll be talking about, this big game in Cleveland and things like that. But also, the Commanders the Commanders are a team where they're bad, but they're entertaining bad. Like, they're at least going to score some points. Sam Howell's going to, stat pad and have a stupid interception towards the end. That's my sneaky game of the week. Do y'all agree with that, or you have a different candidate for a sneaky game of the week?
I don't have a different candidate, but I don't agree with that. I think this game is going to be bad. I think the Rams are going to win this game probably by at least 10 points, but I could be wrong,
Bang, what you got? You on mute, by the way.
That's my bad. I think our sneaky game is our game. With all of the people that the Browns have injured, it's especially on the offensive line with both tackles. I think this will be a sneaky good game because people are not necessarily expecting, a lot of points to be scored here. I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of points scored on this game right here.
We will get into full breakdown of that in overtime. And let's go to my top 5. Gonna go with my number 5 must watch game of the week. I've got the Green Bay Packers at the crib after a very, very tough loss to Jackie Aprile Jr. And the loss, not the loss, the New York Giants, man, on Monday Night Football. The Packers are trying to get back into it, trying to hold on to that last seed. Christian Watson is questionable for Sunday, as well as Aaron Jones, and they're going to be going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are now leading that terrible division of the NFC South. But this is something where we see from the Packers that, Jordan Love can be hot and cold. I know a lot of niggas tried to crown him last week after beating an anemic team as the Chiefs. At this point right now, we can't even get happy about you beating the Chiefs because it's how bad that offense is. He did not look the same on Monday, and you got a team with Tampa as mediocre as they are. They can also put some points. So that is my number 5 must-watch game of the week. Bane, what you think about this contest?
Man, I got the Bucks. I think the Bucks right now is a better team with right now the better quarterback. You don't just have Aaron Jones hurt and out. AJ Dillon broke his thumb. Christian Watson has the hamstring issue. They got a lot of issues over there in Green Bay. So I got the Bucks going into Lambeau Field and stealing one from the Packers.
That would be good for the Bears. Dante, what you think?
Packers lose 2 in a row. I think I got the Bucks going in there taking care of business. Baker's looked really solid this year. Their offensive coordinator, somebody, his name is going to ring bells around the league this offseason. But I think as far as Sunday goes, I'm definitely going with the Bucks.
All right. Let's get into my number 4 must-watch game, man. With this one, this is the nightcap of a triple header tomorrow. The first 2 games, like, they'll be decent. Like, this is gonna be a lot of backup quarterback play, but I feel like it'll be bad football, but entertaining bad football. You got Bengals, Vikings. The Linsanity run of Joshua Dobbs has come to an end. And they'll be going up against Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals. And of course, you got the Colts and the Steelers now. But this one, number 4 on my list, is Lions Broncos. Lions have not been playing good football whatsoever. Lost one to the Bears last week. Have almost blew a couple leads before that. Lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving. And they'll be home going against the Denver Broncos, coming off a big win this past week. They're right back in the middle of the wild card hunt in the AFC as well. I think this one's going to be a good one, and I think that the Lions going to lose again. I think the Lions going to lose again on this one. I'm going with the Broncos on Saturday, tomorrow. Bang, what you got?
Man, I got the Lions. I think the Lions is going to bounce back. They definitely need to be taken seriously, and they're at home. So I got the Lions. They're at home, right? I thought
Yeah,
they
in
was at
Detroit.
home. Okay, I just want to make sure. So, yep, I got the Lions to win this game.
I got the Broncos. I think the Lions secondary has been bad. And I think Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton be able to take advantage of that. So I got the Broncos by a touchdown.
All right, let's get into my number 3 must-watch game of the week. That is the Monday Night Football game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks. This game got flexed. This was really supposed to be Patriots and Chiefs, and that tells you how bad that the Patriots are. They actually flipped the Patrick Mahomes game. So this one is going to be in Seattle. Eagles, fresh off that beat down to the Dallas Cowboys, will be going against the Seattle Seahawks, who have been hot and cold this year, man. Geno has kind of come back down to earth a little bit, still been decent. I think this is going to be a very competitive game, but I do think that the Eagles win this one by 10. I think this will be one of those where it was a one-score game all game, but then they get like a field goal late. I think that they're going to bounce back, and I really think the NFC East is going to go down to the last week of the season in throwback NFC East fashion. But I think it's going to be a competitive game, man. I think the Eagles, they're not going to stay down for too long. And the Seahawks have just not been they're not, have the consistency that we thought we would have coming off of last season's campaign. Bang, what you think about this Monday Night Football game? The first ever flex in Monday Night Football.
Hey, man. This smells like upset. This smells like upset. But I'm not gonna go that far. But it definitely smells a little bit upsetty. But the Eagles bounce back. I wish Geno Smith was a little bit more healthy, but the Eagles bounce back. That's what I got.
Dante, you got Monday night.
Yeah, battle with the birds. I definitely got the Eagles, bro. I think they're gonna continue to battle through Jalen Hurts' injury. He's hobbling around out there, but he's been, like I said, they got 10 wins. It was ugly in Dallas, but I think they're gonna bounce back in Seattle.
All right, let's go to my number 2 must-watch game of the week. This one is I think it's the Sunday night game. It is the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars lost last week to the Cleveland Browns. Trevor Lawrence is on every drug imaginable last Sunday. There's no way he should have been playing that game. He had 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, and he will be going up against the best team in the AFC. A quarterback battle that everybody has circled as soon as the schedule came out. The Jaguars, to me, I know the old Bill Parcells quote, "You are what your record says." I just don't think that that the Jaguars are as good as their record says. I really just don't think they're that good. I think Baltimore's been pretty dominant this year, and I feel like this is something where they're going to just run into a brick wall as far as Jacksonville. They already know that Trevor's hurt, and I feel like this defense is going to feast on that, and this offense is coming together for Baltimore. Zay Flowers has really been coming together the last couple weeks, and Odell is not ready to be a part of Family Man Records yet. He's been had the last couple good weeks, so I think this one is going to be a competitive game for like a little bit, but I think Baltimore is going to win this one by 2 touchdowns, man. Bang, what you got in the Sunday night game?
Man, I got the Ravens in the ass whooping. Just like how they whooped the Lions' ass, I expect them to do that same shit in Duval, man. I got the Ravens in a rout.
All right. Dante, what you got?
3 for 3. I also got Baltimore. That's my Super Bowl pick, so I definitely got them taking care of division rival in this one. But no, wait, they in the same division, ain't they?
No, they're not.
They are not. They're in the north. I'm tripping. They're from the south. But yeah, no, I got them taking care of business.
All right, my final game, my number 1 game to watch this week, week 15. It is the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys will be hosting. No, the Buffalo Bills will be hosting the Dallas Cowboys. I said on the Patreon show on halftime on Wednesday, the silent assassin Bills. They have been in different teams since Joe Brady has taken over the offense. We've really seen Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs take it to another level. Big win in Kansas City this week. And their team that we talking about sleepers, like I said, you do not want to play this team in the playoffs. If you're a wild card team on the road, and as I also said on Wednesday, if you missed it, go watch halftime. I laid out the path for them to still win the AFC East, because when the Dolphins lost to the Titans, they left the door cracked a little bit. So go back and watch that, or even you can watch the full segment on the YouTube right now while I break down the path for the Bills to the AFC East crown. This is going to be a great game. We just applauded we just applauded Dak and everything he's been doing and how great the Cowboys have been. They've had some great wins, but none of those great wins have been on the road. We've also said that they've been some bump slayers before this game against the Eagles. I got the Bills. Not only do I got the Bills, I got the Bills by 14. I think you're gonna see the old Bills show. Oh. Yes, I'm going with the Bills by 14. They at the crib. Baby's gonna be getting put through tables. I'm going with Buffalo this week.
Man, I got Buffalo too, but not like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm all in on it.
Yeah, Buffalo. I mean, the Cowboys do good at home, not necessarily the best on the road, going against one of the best quarterbacks. I think it's a close game. I actually got Buffalo by 4.
I'm all in on Dak, man. I think the Cowboys defense comes in there. They can create a couple turnovers against Josh Allen, and I think Dak does just enough to get the victory on the road. And the Cowboys victory trade keeps rolling, like we said when we talked about it a few weeks ago. They got the potential to really threaten for that 1 seed and beating the Eagles' ass was the startup, and I think they're gonna go on a run to close out the season.
Definitely looking forward to. I'm probably, and the worst part about it is I'm not even gonna see none of this game. Like I'm gonna be. I think it's a late game. I think I'll be on the road back. I'll be doing post game in Cleveland, and so I'm not even a 24-hour trip. Going to Cleveland in the morning, early in the morning, doing the game, heading back to Chicago, man. But that's my top 5 must watch games of Week 15, man. Let's wrap this episode up with my Goofy Mog of the week. Goofy Mog of the week. I'm going to be giving it to former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. He will be a Hall of Famer, and that is one Big Ben Roethlisberger, or I like to call him Rapelessberger. He came on his podcast, which I didn't even know he had, which everybody has one now, which is nothing wrong. We go ahead and do your thing as a nigga with a podcast, especially, people who've actually played the game. But he went out there and said the Steelers are losing their culture, and guys like this, they're not protecting the Steeler way and things like that. And my response to that is, nigga, who are you to be talk about anything that's the right way? This isn't even about football. Like, are you aware of the things that you've got away with? You shouldn't be in front of a podcast, Mike. You should be 6 feet under in a raft that they had from Captain America Civil War. You shouldn't be talking about football. You should be in prison, my nigga. So you are a Goofy Mog. This isn't no long drawn out explanation for anything football wise. I listened to a couple minutes of that comment that they read out on Pat McAfee show this week, and I was just like, who are you to be pointing a finger at anybody in any type of situation with the nasty stuff we know about you? So I'm giving my final Goofy Mog of the week to Mr. Ben Roethlisberger. Go to hell. You should be in a prison cell. That's all I got to say about that, man. That is all we got for y'all. This is the final Friday episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You for 2023. Next week will be the holiday special. Now, of course, we will be back on Monday. Monday is the actual final show of 2023. Like I said earlier, Mikey and Courtney are out for the year. They'll be back first week of January when we come back. We will have the homie Sean Davis, from Sports Illustrated, used to be ESPN Chicago. He'll be filling in for Courtney and Mikey on Monday. So I'm looking forward to talking to him, man. You subscribe right there. As you see it scrolling across the screen, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network for Overtime. We're about to record Overtime right now. I'm going to upload that right away. All Chicago sports talk in that hour. We're going to quickly talk about the Bulls. No longer than 5 minutes. I kind of want to talk about this Kobe White thing. Then we're going to go to a full deep dive of the big, massive game in the dog pound this Sunday between the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns. A lot of playoff implications for that. And we're going to be talking about one of many Caleb Williams, Justin Fields discussions that almost got Bang and Mikey fired from this show that you are currently watching. We will just talk about that in there, man. So follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott. Follow Dante at October's on Tape. Follow JR Bang at JR Bang. Shout out to everybody who watches. We'll holler at y'all on Monday with the show, and the holiday special trailer will be dropping on Monday. Y'all have a good sports weekend. We up out of here.
That paper on display, I hate his old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna